Hey guys. This is Candace McMillan giving you a quick training that I actually did live a couple months ago at a women's event. And it is called The Diva Guide to Creating Extraordinary Abundance. Some quick information that I've learned over the past couple of years in my entrepreneurial journey. And I just want to have the women out there who are taking a look at this, and also the men, because there'll be some great information that even as a man you can take on and use to explode your business and explode your life. So, just sharing some information with um, people out there. So, here's some facts. First of all, I read a book by Kim Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki's wife. She is also his business partner in real estate investing, and also his business partner in his Rich Dad company. And the name of the book is called "It's Rising Time: A Call for Women, What It Really Takes for the Reward for Financial Freedom." And here are some facts that are out there about women's financial status. Number one, currently women are poorer in retirement than men. Um, we're twice as likely to live retirement years in poverty. And in the United States, an alarming 87% of the elderly living in poverty are women. That's astonishing. And that's something that we really need to change. Um, Women are poorer in divorce than men. So oftentimes we do hear about that. In the US, in 2000, there was a study done, and the average income for a middle-aged divorced woman is only $11,000 per year. So, and then women on average are financially prepared. 58% of female baby boomers have less than $10,000 in retirement plans. So obviously, there's something going on where we as women need to take the bull by the horns and just become more financially educated, and also not only financially educated, because I think we have access to a lot of information, but just um, not having fear around finances, and being able to support one another and not having fear, and even if you do have fear, just act anyway. So those are some facts, and this training is designed to somehow, maybe there'll be someone out there who listens to this and decides to take a different route or to do something differently. So first thing I want everyone to think about is, instead of measuring your wealth in money, measure your wealth in time. What does that mean? Well, oftentimes we are taught, and our brains are wired to think about money in terms of, I go to work, I make a dollar, I make a certain amount of dollars per hour, or I have a business and I sell a widget for a certain amount of dollars, and I'm physically there selling this widget, or um, I am in a profession where I'm selling my expertise for income. And we're not taught to measure our wealth in time. So if you, just this quick question, if you and or your partner or spouse stop working today, how long could you survive financially at your current standard of living? And for most of us, the answer to that question is not very long. So measure our wealth in time. This is what wealthy people do. If Warren Buffett's decided to stop working today, and I'm sure he is an older gentleman, he still works very hard. But if he decided to stop working today, he could survive financially for a very long time, and also generations after him could survive financially for a very long time as well, because his wealth and his money work for him instead of the other way around. When we think about people like Bill Gates, if we think about Oprah Winfrey, if she stopped working today, she would still be making millions and millions of dollars because of her passive income and residual income. Warren Buffett because of his investments. So we want to begin thinking of wealth in time. Like, what can I begin implementing today that will put me in a position to be able to decide for whatever reason that I don't want to work for a period of time, or maybe I want to take a sabbatical, or maybe I want to go in a different direction, or maybe I just want to do something that's pleasurable to me, or something that's in service to society, and not necessarily get paid for it, but money is still coming in for me. So we if the answer to this question is not necessarily the answer that you want to hear, then what we need to do is start moving in a new direction. So what's the definition of financial freedom? Financial freedom means that you have passive income coming in every month that exceeds your monthly living expenses forever. So if you add up um, every single month the bills that are coming into your household, school bills, household bills, telephone bills, internet bills, TV bills, mortgage, rent, so on and so forth, taxes, this, that, and the third. And if you add up all your expenses on a monthly basis, groceries, etc., clothing, dry cleaning, this, that, and the third, car notes, gas. So if you add up your monthly living expenses, and if you have a vehicle, or you have investments that have are able to yield a passive income that exceeds those monthly living expenses, then essentially you're financially free. If it came to a point where you couldn't work, or no longer wanted to work in in your specific job, or your specific profession, or your specific business, then you would still have your bills and everything paid off. So that's the definition of financial freedom. That's basically if your monthly living expenses, your bills are $2,000 per month, let's just say, for example, but you're making $5,000 per month passive income, meaning that you don't have to touch anything and that income is still coming in, then you're financially free. So that's the definition of financial freedom. So that's the goal for us. That's the goal that we want to begin. That's the direction we want to begin moving towards, and that's where we want to get more education so that we can achieve that. If money were no issue and you had all the money you needed, what would you be doing differently? What would you be doing differently regarding your professional career? Would you still have the job that you have? Would you still be operating that small business, or that traditional business, or um, any specific profession that you're doing? Would you still be doing that, or would you be moving in a different direction, maybe pursuing something that's more so your passion? What would you be doing regarding your health and fitness? We know that in this day and age, we need to buy organic foods. Would you be maybe spending more money to feed your family better, feed yourself better? Would you would that be a difference between a certain type of gym membership, or maybe you would hire a personal trainer, or maybe you like to hike, and hiking is a hobby that you want to continue taking up, but you don't have time to because of your profession. So what would you be doing differently regarding health and fitness? Your financial life, if money were no issue for you and you had passive income coming in, maybe you would invest more, maybe you would save more, maybe there would just be different things you would be doing differently regarding budgeting, etc. Your personal and spiritual well-being, would you be more at peace if money were no longer an issue? Would you be able to be more charitable if money were no issue? Would you be able to do things and live your life in a way that has you and the people around you be happier? Your marriage or your primary relationship, what would you be doing differently regarding that? um, Possibly, maybe you might do things within your relationship that will help your relationship to thrive, instead of always, I guess, if you're not happy in your life in general, then it's difficult to bring that into a relationship. Or would you have a different relationship? That's also a possibility. Your children, what would you be doing differently regarding them? Their schooling, um, where you live, does that affect your children? That goes without saying. Your family members, would you be helping more family members? Would you be able to be an example for them? Would you be able to help them with their financial matters? And whatever else is important to you. You might have hobbies. You might want to write a book, and maybe you might want to move to India for 2 years and write a book. Whatever is important to you. So money is not the most important thing in the world, but it is right up there with oxygen. And oftentimes I really think about this on a consistent basis. If money were no issue for the world, then a lot of us would be just be doing different things. And I think that a lot of the issues that we deal with on a daily basis would no longer be issues, and we could have different types of conversations. So there's 10 steps to creating wealth that I've discovered from my journey in entrepreneurship, and also through seminars that I've taken, books that I've read, and I want to be able to share this with the women and the men who are listening to this. So, number one, create a new story. And here's what I mean by this. When I first started out as an entrepreneur, I used to think of myself as someone who, I had a whole story. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anyone who's an entrepreneur. Um, Maybe I'll fail. I haven't necessarily been successful at entrepreneurship. So that was my whole story. Oftentimes, a lot of us have a story of I'm not good enough. And that can manifest in many different ways. So, what I did was I just created a new story, because any internal dialogue that's going on in your head about yourself and your life, and any mistakes that you've made in the past, they no longer exist today. And also, it's all your creation. So if you can create a negative story about yourself, then you can just flip that and create a positive story about yourself. Who are you? Basically, you are who you say that you are. So now what I say about myself is I'm a person um who lives my life to be able to affect abundance on the planet. That's who I am. And I'm that now by doing this recording. I'm also that throughout my life, and when I'm not being that, I just get present to that reality, and I shift it, and I be that person. So you want to create a new story and decide who are you going to be. If you need to create an alter ego, then go ahead and do that. But create a new story about yourself. Self-confidence is the number one thing to being an entrepreneur, in my opinion. Number two, be crystal clear about your goals. This is extremely important. Think about all the things in your life that you want to do before you die. And one day just sit down and make a list of all those things, and decide what are the top three things that are paramount on that list. So be crystal clear about what goals you have in your life, and whatever you decide to do something every day that will drive towards those specific goals. Number three, find a vehicle. Obviously, this goes without saying. If you're looking to create wealth, you need to have a vehicle that works and that lends itself to creating wealth. A job is not something that creates wealth, unless maybe you have stock options, like you were one of the founders of Facebook and you had stock options. Or what's that new company that was sold to Facebook called WhatsApp for $19 billion. If you were one of the executives there and you had stock options or you had equity in the company, that will create wealth. But for most people, that's not that. Most people don't have that at their job. They have a salary. So you want to find something that you can start part time that can shift you out of your job if you desire to do so, or have or create wealth creation on a part-time basis while you're at your job. Number 4, stay away from dream stealers. What are dream stealers? Dream stealers are basically people who just don't believe in your vision. Maybe they become resigned and cynical in their own life and they're trying to protect you from going out there and taking risks. So you want to stay away from those people, and you want to stay away from people who don't support you in your dreams and who ridicule you. And also, sometimes a dream stealer can be yourself, your own negative self talk, and you want to be able to identify that and nip it in the bud if you feel that you're giving yourself negative self-talk. Turning off the TV is one thing that um, you have to do if you're going to be an entrepreneur. I guarantee you, if you ask the top 10 richest, wealthiest people in the world, they do not watch TV. Turn off the TV, because your conscious mind knows that you're watching TV, but your subconscious mind does not know the difference between the images that they view, what's real and what's not. So you don't want to watch TV. Definitely not. Number 5, create your own support system. You need to have a mentor. And your mentor needs to be someone who has especially probably in your profession when it comes to creating wealth, someone who's where you would like to be and who has your best interests at heart, and someone who you can talk to and be vulnerable with. That's your mentor. You want advisors. Advisors are people who can maybe connect you to different individuals that can help you. Advisors are people who can give you information, but they're not necessarily people that you would be vulnerable with. That's your mentor. So you want advisors. And then you also want people who are just supporters in general. You need a team as an entrepreneur who is creating wealth. You need a team because you don't know everything. So you want people who are experts in their field to give you information so that you can execute. So you need a support system. Number 6, find a mentor, sponsor, and advisor. So I just spoke on that. You want to find a mentor. And sometimes starting off, your mentors may be mentors from afar. You might have a mentor who you just read their books. That could be a mentor. For example, for me, my first mentor was Robert Kiyosaki. One of the first books I read in reference to creating wealth was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. A sponsor is someone who basically is going to get you into certain doors that you wouldn't have been able to go into before. So that's an ally who can advocate for you and get you in the door. And advisors are people who have information for you that can help you. Number 7, always do more than what you are compensated for. I, I know everyone can agree with me that the number one pet peeve you probably have when you go into a restaurant is when there's not great customer service, when people just do just the bare minimum. Even when you go into an establishment, any business, when people just do the bare minimum that they're supposed to do, but they don't go above and beyond, you're not necessarily drawn to continue to do business with that establishment. But when you go to a hotel or to a restaurant where they take your coat, they do coat check, they pull out your seat, they find you a great table. They pour your water the way you like it. They're very attentive, but not too attentive. They leave you to, have your dinner in peace. They advise you well on the menu. They have a smile on their face, and they just look like they enjoy what they're doing and they're there to serve you. Then you feel more inclined to maybe give them a bigger tip. Well, the same thing works with entrepreneurship. especially with entrepreneurship, because oftentimes when you're starting out, it's just you. So your attitude cannot be, uh, I have a grocery store and I'm not supposed to mop the floors. That's an employee mindset. Even if you are an employee now, always do more than what you're compensated for, because you put yourself in a position to be promoted. And as an entrepreneur, you put yourself in a position to make more money and to create loyal customers. So you always want to do more than what you're compensated for. Number 8, elevate. That means always be reading books. Leaders are readers. Always make sure that you're staying abreast of new information in your industry that can help you. Um, Elevate your wardrobe, elevate your language and how you speak, elevate everything about you so that you can become a person who can attract more and more wealth to you. Number 9, stay away from the comfort zone. The comfort zone is basically doing things that you're only comfortable with, because in comfort there's no growth. You have to constantly stay uncomfortable. And I know that's not comfortable, but being uncomfortable will allow you to grow until that thing that had you be uncomfortable is no longer uncomfortable for you. And now you can conquer a new, you can get to a new plateau. It's kind of like if you're working out as an athlete or you're just working out, period. You're not going to stay with the same weights, the same size weights forever. You're going to master that that weight, and then you're going to move up to the next level of weights. And when you move up to the next level, it's not going to be comfortable. It's going to hurt until you're doing it, and you're doing it at 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds. And before you know it, maybe that 20-pound weight doesn't feel as heavy anymore. That means you're getting stronger. So in entrepreneurship, you always want to move to the next level of discomfort, as counterintuitive as that is. But yes, that's what you need to do. And number 10, manage your expectations and learn from failure. Oftentimes, as an entrepreneur, you are going to fail. Failure is actually the way to success. So you have to fail, and you have to manage your expectations and know and understand that maybe it may take you more capital than you thought it would. It might take you more time than you thought it would. It might take you speaking to more, double the amount of people that you thought it would. And you're going to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail and fail until you make your way to the top. And the bonus is train your mind. Train your mind to think like Bill Gates. Train your mind to think like Warren Buffett. Train your mind to think like Oprah Winfrey. Train your mind with books, audio tapes, listen to things before you go to sleep, and 15 minutes when you wake up in the morning, before you wake up in the morning, read a book. So that is the end of our training today. I thank each and every one of you for listening to this. This is Candace McMillan signing off, and this was the Diva Guide to Creating Wealth. Go out there and create wealth, and I wish each and every one of you an awesome and productive day. Stay in the loop. Visit www.candacemcmillan.com.